Today, we're looking at the Star Trek coffee cup and Tribble set from Master Replicas, inspired by Star Trek the original series. The set arrives in a cleanly presented, slim but sturdy open display box. The branding is simple and elegant, reminiscent of the modern Star Trek universe title card, with that expanse of space sitting behind the logo. Inside, everything is packed securely in a soft foam to protect the cup during transit, and there's an exposed section at the top where you can actually feel the Tribble's fur before opening. Once inside, you're greeted with the cup in all its glory and of course the little Tribble companion. Now, I'll get into my broader thoughts on Master Replicas a little later in the video, but one thing I will say up front is that they've recently been expanding into Star Trek glassware and crockery, and both from a fan filmmaker and a collector, this is exactly the type of thing I'm interested in. They've recently partnered with Bodum to produce the classic bistro cup as seen in The Next Generation, released multiple versions of the distinctive no-spill mug from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and honestly, if they gave us a proper Janeway-style stainless steel mug, we'd have the full set of iconic Captain drinkware. The grey cup itself first appears in the episode Where No Man Has Gone Before. Using his developing telekinetic powers, Gary Mitchell pulls a plastic cup beneath the tap and fills it with water using only his mind, before levitating it back to his hand as Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and Dr. Dana look on. From there, these cups appear throughout the series. In the Corbomite maneuver, Yeoman Rand brings hot coffee to the bridge, despite a power outage, explaining to Dr. McCoy that she heated them with a hand phaser. Later in the episode, the cups are scattered across the briefing room table. And of course, in The Trouble with Tribbles, Captain Kirk orders a chicken sandwich and coffee from the food synthesizer, only to find the system completely overrun with Tribbles, which is where this little addition comes in. On screen, these 8-ounce cups were originally made from styrofoam by a now defunct company called Styro Cup, most likely spray painted grey. A thin black line near the lip added a bit of visual definition, along with the now obscure USS Enterprise logo, featuring a blue globe encircled by a gold wreath. Interestingly, this logo predates the standardization of the Starfleet insignia. Before the series fully locked its visual identity, this alternative emblem appears across various props, from coveralls and clipboards to hats and cups. After the second pilot, it quietly disappeared in favour of the now iconic Delta. Years later, Gene Roddenberry's original production materials were archived at the University of California, Los Angeles, and within those files was the original artwork for this very logo, which Master Replicas have sourced and reproduced here. Unfortunately, this is where things start to fall down a little. The quality of the printed logo combined with a heavy, uneven wash across the cup makes the design look patchy and far less sharp than the promotional images suggest. On our copy, both the logo and the black line are slightly crooked, noticeably slanted, which is pretty disappointing given how simple the product itself is. Of course, it's a great idea to use the original design, but honestly, this might have been a case where a clean recreation would have delivered a better final result. In terms of material, Master Replicas have opted for earthenware instead of styrofoam, which makes sense for durability. However, while the original on-screen cups had a slightly wider shape, a relatively thick lip with concentric rinchings, and a fairly soft, non-pronounced rim, the replica here doesn't quite capture those proportions. Instead, it feels closer to a modern paper cup in its overall profile. So while the intention is clearly there, the accuracy isn't quite. Included with this set is a small brown Tribble, which fits neatly inside the cup. A soft, fluffy little ball with long fibers that really captures the look of the creatures from The Trouble with Tribbles. It's simple, and it works. And it's such a nice touch that adds a little bit of charm to this overall set. So, am I happy with this purchase? Yes and no. As a display piece, it's fun, it's recognizable, and it's absolutely something I'd be drawn to as a fan. But from an accuracy standpoint, it misses the mark in terms of shape, and most importantly, the print quality and the alignment of the graphics are below what you'd expect at this price point. For something this simple, a cup with a line and a logo, those details really matter. We actually hoped to receive this earlier so we could feature it in our Plomeek Soup episode for the 10 Forward test kitchen, but unfortunately, it didn't arrive in time, so we had to make our own. Styrofoam cups are largely phased out now, but we managed to dig up some from the back of a cupboard, a bit of grey paint, the same colour as our set walls actually, and some custom vinyl decals later, and for a quick DIY job, not a bad result. Now, we had also planned to review the Deep Space Nine Raktajino mugs from Master Replicas, but unfortunately we were sent the wrong items, and our attempts to organise a return or a refund have so far gone unresolved. And having looked into it further, this doesn't appear to be an isolated case. There are plenty of similar experiences shared across forums and collector groups. So unfortunately, as a first-time customer, I do have to add a bit of a buyer beware here when it comes to Master Replicas. If I were to be purchasing again from them, I'd likely either buy in person where I can inspect the product, or go through a trusted retailer with confirmed stock. And that's a real shame because the ideas behind these products are genuinely great. Anyway, that's the Star Trek coffee cup and Tribble set from Master Replicas. Is this something you'd add to your collection? Let us know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time.